famous Isle of Man TT is hailed as the greatest motorbike race on the planet. We're going to scratch beneath that tarmac to discover some of the historical nuggets, facts and curiosities dotted all around the TT course. So, visors down and get ready for 10 facts about the Isle of Man TT course. The TT didn't always start and finish at the grandstand. In 1907, the very first TT race started at St John's, right next to Tynwald Hill. Competitors did 10 laps of the St John's short course. 15 miles per lap, the course joined the current TT course at Ballacrane, up to Kirkmichael, veering down the coast road to Peel and back to St John's. The TT course switched to the Snaefell mountain course in 1911, with a few adjustments over the years. TT stands for Tourist Trophy. For the first TT, competitors rode on touring motorcycles, hence the name Tourist Trophy. These machines had to have the following: saddles, tick; mudguards, tick; pedals, tick; and exhaust silencers, tick. This is the Isle of Man when it's not TT week. Same location, different time. Things are a bit quieter and a bit slower. So it's a good time to take a skeet at some of those iconic places on the TT course. In 1911, when the TT switched to the world-famous TT mountain course, the original start line was here on Quarterbridge Road. That's Oliver Godfrey, the first winner of the senior trophy on the TT course we more or less know it as today. Recognise this place? Yep, it's Quarterbridge. There used to be a steam train linking the island's capital, Douglas, to Peel on the west coast. Top tip, in case you don't know, that old railway route is now a path called the Heritage Trail, which means you can walk all the way from Quarterbridge to Peel and stop off at any of the villages along the way: Union Mills, Glenvine, Crosby, Greba, Ballacrane, those iconic TT spectator locations and beyond. But unfortunately, you can't walk the first bit from Quarterbridge to Braddon when the races are on. That stretch is for the TT access road, vital link between the outside and inside of the course, for vehicles only. Gaze up between the 5th and 6th milestones and feast your eyes on this beauty. The famous Victorian novelist Hall Caine chose Greba Castle as his home for 35 years. He wrote the first novel, ever to sell more than 1 million copies worldwide. And that's not all. Screen adaptations of his works were directed by none other than Alfred Hitchcock. Travelling around the Isle of Man, you might notice rather a lot of Bala somethings. That's because in Manx Gaelic, Bala means place or farm of. Like Bala Crane on the TT course, it means Farmer Crane's farm. Did you know the legendary comedian Norman Wisdom used to live on the Isle of Man? He named his house Balalaugh, place of the laughs. Balloch, or Balloch Bridge, between the 8th and 9th milestones also has a bit of an interesting history. This used to be a humpback bridge, so it was a bit of a jaw-dropping wheel launcher back in the day. The bridge was replaced in the 1930s and the road was levelled out. The humpback bridge featured in the classic TT movie No Limit, a musical comedy filmed on location at the 1935 TT races. In it, the main character, played by George Formby, dreams of winning at the TT. You can see a replica of the motorbike, the Shuttleworth Snap, ridden in the movie at the Manx Transport Heritage Museum in Peel. That Shuttleworth Snap, one just like this, was built by none other than Manx TT legend Milky Quayle. The museum is also home to the world's smallest production car. This is the Peel P50. The P50s were originally made in the Isle of Man, in a factory in Peel. Glen Helen is between the 11th and 12th milestones and is a stunning glen. So take a wander and check out the tree planted by the famous female pilot Amy Johnson in 1935. 5 years earlier, in 1930, Amy Johnson was the first woman to fly solo from England to Australia. Sarah's Cottage, just up the road, is another iconic landmark of the TT. But who's Sarah? Sarah Corlett, that's who. She lived in this cottage in the 1890s and sold food and refreshments for passing travellers. She was particularly popular with the children attending the old Cronkyvardy school up the road. To them, she was Sarah of the Sweets. Mike Halewood crashed here in the 1965 TT. When he leapt back on his bike, he ended up going the wrong direction, down the hill instead of up. Realising his mistake, he did a quick turnaround and ended up winning the race. Hurtling along Cronk-y-Voddy, Manx Gaelic for Hill of the Dog, we reach Cronk-Early in Kirkmichael. Cronk-Early is Gaelic for Hill of the Forecourt. Did you know the Isle of Man has its own parliament, Tynwald, set up by the Vikings over 1,000 years ago? Cronk-Early is thought to be a former site of Tynwald. Another site for Tynwald, and still going today, is of course Tynwald Hill in St John's, where the TT first began. There's plenty more facts and nuggets around the rest of the TT course, so see you back in Kirkmichael in the next episode. Oh, and you can click that subscribe button if you like too. Thanks for watching.